Hello.
Whoa.
We're back. I'm back.
We are back.
Look at him. You look so much better,
anymore, guys. Yeah.
You
Look how
so
pleasant
good.
he is.
I look like a nice tax-paying citizen.
Dude, that looks like a law-abiding citizen right there. Look at that.
That does look like that's the law-abiding citizen. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. Hey, hold on. Though. Let me just. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. That's better. Oh yeah. That's better.
Dude, you started doing it, and I had to panically go back to that tab because I was so far away from there.
Oh my god. Well, hey, we're back.
We're back, dude. Episode 16, right? We're on 16?
Yeah, 16. Episode 16.
Episode 16.
Dude, I look so ugly.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, dude?
You look great, man. You're great. You'd never be better.
Guys, thank you.
So I don't know about you guys, but I had to vacate early a Halloween party / birthday party to be here. I drove all the way, fully dressed up in a hippie costume, and I walked in. I dropped off my wife and kiddo, and I was like, "All right, I have to go. Bye, guys."
Wow.
And I turned right back around and drove here.
Way.
So you think you're dedicated? You think you're dedicated?
Yeah,
I just left my girlfriend's birthday party to get here on time.
Yeah.
What the heck, dude?
Dude, nothing.
You call that dedication? To wake up from my 7 p.m. daily nap for this podcast.
I woke up.
That's true dedication. Waking up.
Waking up, damn, dude. That's my bad.
Oh, man. But welcome everyone to the Dojocast.
No. You're the guest. You don't get to do the intro this time.
Oh, wait. You're right. You're right.
Come on.
I'll be the guest.
I got this. So, welcome everybody to today's episode 16 of the Dojocast. And today's guest is Hyun, the man himself. And today he's going to reveal everything about himself in the dojo. And he leaks it all. What's up, Hyun? Welcome to the show, buddy. Good to have you on.
Oh, man, thank you. I'm nervous for some reason. I don't know why I'm nervous. I mean, it's good to be here. I mean, thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean, get yourself comfortable. We're up in the clouds today because we're feeling good. We're feeling light, feeling airy. I hope the weather's good down there, but it's really nice up here. You know, it's at least stable enough to carry the weight of all of our equipment and the couch. And it's pretty cozy up here. And the weather's nice.
It is. It's very breezy. Get a lot of sun.
I'm getting sunburned. That's okay.
Hurricanes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we're completely safe from the ocean. I hate the ocean.
Yeah, dude. What is that all about? You know. Also, trees and land need to pick up their game as well, because you guys see that the carbon sink that we count on. They did a study in 2023. They said for the entire year of 2023, all of the land and trees that usually absorb a certain amount of emissions didn't. They just didn't, and they don't know why, but none of it absorbed any carbon in the carbon sink of our land. So the ocean has been doing all of the work. So what I don't understand.
Is that where all the hurricanes are coming from?
Partially, yeah. That's part of it, because they didn't absorb their part of the carbon sink. But yeah, so the ocean's all we got, even though it is being mean.
That's
but I hate it anyway.
That's fair.
Mean.
That's fair. I actually have a fear of open bodies of water.
Oh.
Me too.
I don't like it.
Do you don't like lakes either?
No, I don't. We live right next to a lake, and I can't put my feet straight down. I can only lay flat on the surface. I can't just be in an inner tube with my legs straight down. I feel like something's gonna yank me down.
Interesting.
Oh my god.
See, I just hate the ocean in its entirety. Like, I'm cool with lakes. Like, we have plenty of lakes.
Like I'm 100% with you.
Oh my god! Finally, some sane people. Whenever I say that, everyone tries to argue with me.
No, I'm not arguing it at all. The ocean is beautiful and full of very interesting life, but terrifying, utterly terrifying.
Yeah, so that's why.
See, you know what
we're
I
in the
hate? You know what I
sky
hate?
today.
Yeah, that's where we're up here.
What do you hate, Hyun?
Hello?
What do you hate?
Dude, I hate it when you're like, I hate it when you're swimming in the ocean. The freaking seaweed gets wrapped up in your leg, and then
yeah.
you panic. You can't take it off, and it feels all rough and itchy. I can't do it anymore. I never went into the ocean after that.
Dude, I hate it. Like even in lakes, like when you're like walking, even like close to the shore, and like the ground in the water is like real mucky, and it sinks. And sometimes there's like little sticks that poke you.
Oh, I hate that. And I'm like, you don't know. It's like something could be really sharp. You're like, was that glass? Was that a rock? Was that like a, you know, it could be, was that a fish hook? Is it a fish hook? Yeah. Awful, dude. Awful.
So stay away from water.
Yeah, water's bad. Be way up in the sky. Be way up in the sky, dude. Come on.
Yeah, we way up here. So, what are we doing today?
We got announcements? Do we have announcements today?
Yeah, we actually do have announcements. Like, I'm not lying. I swear.
Finally.
Yo!
Okay, so we have two announcements, actually. So first is the Dojo rank. I don't know if you guys know about the rank raffle has been chosen. Basically, the top 10 voters of people voting on the ranks in our Discord server win $100 Steam gift card. So
man, I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to leave you like this. You're kind of lagging a bit bad.
No.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Let me stop watching. This.
I hate to see it happen, man.
Yeah. You hate to see it.
Don't watch the whole stream. It's over.
Yeah, don't watch the stream if you don't have to.
I'm gonna close everything.
Okay.
All right. Wait, does someone else want to read the announcements for me? If I'm still lagging.
You sound fine now.
You sound good now, yeah.
Okay. Dojo rank raffles have we chose the winner of the $100 Steam gift card, which was Maina. Congratulations, Maina.
I wonder how that was chosen.
That was chosen via the raffle. Oh man, I forgot to post a video of that. But yeah, it's our recent video that we posted. Yeah, of the marbles.
I love, dude. For those of you who watched my streams before, I absolutely love the marble race giveaways. It's just the most fun and interactive way to do a giveaway on any stream ever. I love it.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, we're gonna keep doing these raffles. So the next $100 Steam gift card raffle is going to be at the end of this year, and if you want to participate in that raffle, you have to join the Dojo ranks in our Discord and be in the top 10 voters. So join our Discord or watch the video in the description to join the Dojo ranks, guys.
Get on it.
Yep. Wow. The next announcement was the Sudomemo's Flipnote fight competition literally just ended last night.
Oh.
So, and I'm actually a judge in that. Wait, are you a judge?
Yeah. I'm a judge too. Stone, are you a judge?
So...
I'm not a judge. I'm a spectator.
You're nuts.
So me and Hatena have been judging. We've the winners are going to be announced soon. But if you guys want to watch all the entries, that is also in the link in the description. So perfect. Good job, everybody, and the Flipnote Hatena community.
Love Flipnote. I can't wait for more people to be confused on why this is also named after me.
Way to job.
Hatena made Flipnote, obviously.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's all the announcements for today.
That is it for announcements. So shall we get right into it then?
No.
All right, let's get this over with, man.
Let's do it, dude. All right, it's Hyun's episode, and we always start everyone's episode with the intro to Hyun. So Hyun, when, how, and why did you get started into stick figure animation?
Oh man, I've told this story before, but it all started when I was a little boy, right? And my dad showed me on his I remember it was a Sony Ericsson phone. It had like a little tiny screen on it. And he played Zhao Zhao number 3.
On his phone? Hold on.
On his phone.
On his Sony Ericsson. Did they even hold on? Did they even have?
It was it was a really old phone. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. But I was sitting in the car. He showed me Zhao Zhao number 3. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen as a kid, and I was like, "What the, Dad? Did you make this?" And he's like, "Yes, I made this."
Yes.
He was like, yes, I made it, son." And I was like, "Oh my God, my dad is the coolest person ever." And then back then, I mean, this was like years and years and years ago. So, computers were still new, programs were still emerging.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't know anything about computers or programs. So I just started animating stick figures in textbooks, like my school textbooks.
Yeah, I did that. Like in the corners on the corner pages.
Yeah. So me thinking my dad was freaking the creator of Zhao Zhao.
Show me, Dad. No.
Yeah, I was just making animations, just every day, just animating in textbooks, and I was like a nobody in school. Like I was the bottom of the barrel, the little nerds that nobody knows exists. And that was like the first time. I think it was in like band class when I was playing clarinet.
Attaboy.
They have like a reading, in school where like after lunch they have like a reading portion. Did you guys have that, or is that still
a reading portion? No. What do you mean? Explain.
Like after lunch you come back and then we had a dedicated section where people just read. We're forced to read books for like an hour or something.
Oh,
what?
Lunch?
Yeah.
Just after lunch?
After lunch, yeah.
Oh no. They just want all the kids to calm down. They're like, we need this kid's energy level reset back to low.
Everyone's all sweaty,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
They're just forced to read books. But yeah, that's when I actually worked on my animations inside my little books, and like that's when I kind of first got noticed in school. Was like when someone sitting next to me was like watching me. And they're like, "Yo, could you play that back?" and I played my little my Flipnote animation back.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, dude, that's so cool!" And then like they took my book and they started like passing it around secretly. And it was like that was like the first.
This one?
Oh no! Oh, that's later. That's later.
Oh, okay. I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, no spoilers.
Yeah,
no spoilers.
But that's when I first kind of got noticed for my animations, and it was like a really good feeling because that's the first time I ever got noticed, like ever in any case, right?
It's validating.
It is.
It is, yeah.
School,
and then it came to the point where every day after lunch, people look for my books that I've read, and then they'd kind of fight for the books that had the animations in it, and then they'd like watch it during the reading time.
That's so great.
That's crazy.
Like, oh, man, yeah, this is so sick, right? Yeah, that's kind of my very, very first interest and love in animating stick figures.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
So you invented YouTube. Some guy next to you at that same school was like,
yeah, maybe
how people want to share videos.
Dude, maybe. And then I eventually that same school, they had a very experimental program for animation, and that's where they had like Flash and the other like very traditional programs. So I entered that class because I was very interested in it. And then that's where I first did like traditional animation, like the way Disney does it and all that.
You actually went to class for animation?
Yeah, I did. It was really experimental and new. So our teacher wasn't actually an animation teacher. He was just a comic artist, and he was just like kind of learning with us.
Huh.
And I already kind of had a base of learning animations just by myself for a long time. So I very naturally got into it. And actually, I can't see the stream. So if you're are you playing the video right now?
Oh, I can now.
Is this trash? Is this trash? Now trash is showing. Yeah.
It's the trash. Yeah, the trash.
Yeah,
that was like my final project in that class. It was my final.
Wow.
It's actually really good.
16 years ago.
16. It was probably more than that. But
but YouTube didn't exist because we're old.
Yeah, hundreds of pages of drawings just scanned in one by one. And that actually got shown to a person that works at Disney, I think, because he was like reviewing animations in our class.
That's actually really cool.
And he like told me, he's like, Eric, this is amazing.
Eric, you are incredible. I love
this is what we are looking for in Disney nowadays. And then like you have a passion, and then here, take this program.
This is your Harry Potter moment.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
you're an animator, Harry.
That was for like a competition or something, and then I won Flash CS3. It was like the Adobe Suite CS3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or was it CS2? It was like CS2 or something like that. And then yeah, I downloaded that program on the CD disc, and then that's when I first got my hands on Flash, and I started making like my first animations.
I remember Flying Panda 1990 now. I totally forgot.
Oh, no. Dude,
I remember that now.
That was me.
Yeah, what was the point behind that name?
Dude, I was a kid, man. I didn't know what
verb, noun, and his date of birth. It is his year of birth. That's it.
Oh, man, that's so cringy. But yeah.
It's not that bad, dude. My username is a website and an Xbox console.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess we're kind of in the same boat, but yeah, that was my introduction into animation. And where's it go from there? It's that's when I started going online.
Yeah, what's your first community?
Yeah, the first communities that I joined was it was shift limits, oddly enough.
Oh, really?
Because I wanted.
You were in the gap period in between. There was like a dead zone when when I took like a 2-year hiatus, essentially.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Was like that's when why shift limits was the hub, because there was rock art anims into fluid anims, and then I had like a pretty traumatic thing happen, and I was gone for like 2 years, and during that time, that's when shift limits came, because everything continues on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's when you kind of stepped in for real.
I didn't even know about that, but yeah, I wasn't. I didn't know anything about rock hard anims or anything like that. I started at shift limits because I was trying to learn about animation. There was nothing out there.
There's nothing. And that was later still. Like that was still later on, because like when he means there's nothing, guys, like, okay, first of all, YouTube, even if it existed at that time, wasn't even really used. It still wasn't like a normal place people frequented. And the things that the internet would see, the front page of the internet was Newgrounds front page, and tutorials weren't getting there. And then the people who would make the stuff that you were watching weren't spending any other time making tutorials on how to make it. They were still trying to figure stuff out themselves. So there was just like nothing. You just had to trial and error everything.
Yeah. If you search Flash on the old YouTube, like this is when YouTube was like very, very new. There's nothing out there. I just saw the only thing that I saw was from this very specific user. I don't know if you guys know him, but it was like was it? It was his G Crip, OG Crip.
Oh yeah,
you guys know that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. He made John Stick. I don't know if you guys know that, but I remember watching his tutorials on YouTube because he was like the old.
Oh, yeah, I gotta find these now. Hang on.
That's crazy. He's Line, like, right? He did Line. I feel like I can picture what is. I recognize the name and I can picture the style, but
yeah, I typed it on Discord. I think his channel still exists. Yeah, dude, this dude.
Right here?
Yeah, this dude had like the only Flash tutorials out there on YouTube back then, and I used to watch them religiously. I was just, but there's nothing out there, and then that's when I somehow ended up in Shift Limits because I wanted Pepper's sound effects, right? Everyone likes Pepper's sound effects.
The sound packs.
Yeah, the sound packs. Introduction there, and I think that's when I made like my very first animation. It was like Kung Fu Stick.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Stick 2. Drunken Stick and all that stuff.
Drunken Stick was your pop off.
Yeah.
That was like when you officially became Hyun, I think, right? Or were you still flying Panda then?
I was still flying Panda, I'm pretty sure.
I think so. But like Drunken Stick, that hit the Fluid Anims portal, at least when you uploaded. I don't know if it was when you originally uploaded, but when it hit the Fluid Anims portal, it shot straight to the top. Like it was in the top 50 for a long time. This was like a staple pivotal animation for the community for sure. Because you had the humor in there.
And yeah. Like I didn't even realize I was adding humor because it was just kind of like something that I enjoyed, and I watched a lot of Jackie Chan back then, with his humor. And yeah, that's when I first got noticed online, and I think I remember very specifically this one dude on Shift Limits. His name was Mephisto. I don't know if you guys know.
With an I, right? Am I?
I don't remember, but like he was like, oh dude, I'll take you under my wing. Don't worry. Don't listen to these other guys. And then they start like fighting with each other and like being toxic and stuff. I was like, oh my god, dude,
what's happening?
And then I moved to like ended up moving to Fluid Anims because it was a lot more open for new people, I think. And then stuff like Stick Page and all that, and that's kind of like where it all really started. My internet footprint, I guess. And then that's when I met Stone, and then I became a mod and all that. The in-house animators, and I think that's where it all happened, right?
Right. And that leads us directly into when you created your RHG character with Yoyo. So how did you come up with
Yoyo?
How and why did you?
It was kind of crazy. Yeah, back then everyone had RHG characters, and it was really cool because they're like fighting each other, cool powers and stuff. And I wanted one too, but I had no idea. Like people were just making new RHG characters every day, and they were just popping up. This dude has super speed. The other guy has the jet sword. And I was like, oh man, dude, they're taking everything. I don't know what to do.
There's nothing left.
I gotta pick something. And then I was like, Yoyo, and then exploding, and then I'll just go with this. I'll do this, and then that's what I picked. And I also wanted to animate something different other than hand-to-hand fighting, because that was kind of like I was still struggling with hand fights, kind of. And so that's why I picked the Yoyo, because I was like, hey, I can. If I send a dude flying, I can do a come over here thing, and then like continue the combo. It's gonna be genius. So yeah, that's kind of how I came up with the Yoyo character. It wasn't really inspired off of anything. It was just kind of like a last minute, like, oh dude, I just need something, and then that's kind of how it came to be.
It's so funny because you're like, dude, it's like, it must have been like, well, I don't know, 2009 or 2010 or something maybe. You're like, everyone's thought of everything. What can I do? All the good stuff is taken. Exploding Yoyo. That's the whole thing. You know what I mean? And it works so good because it's so like easy to remember. Like it's very easily identifiable in any drawing or any animation. Like you can pick out Yoyo very quickly.
Yeah, there. I did a lot of animations with Endo because I kind of grew up with the community with him. Like we were just kind of like, it was just us, and just making animations together for fun. Yeah, it was a fun time back then.
Having a duo partner in animation's big. It's a lot of fun. because like you can springboard not only your like inspiration back and forth on each other, you also improve. I feel like if you want to improve as an animator, find someone who is at your skill level that you kind of like vibe with, at your skill level or even a little above. But if you having good chemistry is huge, and just work on whatever together. Like don't take it too seriously. Just work on whatever, and you'll make like magic. It's literally you're taking something that doesn't even exist, a blank canvas. You make magic, and you rapidly improve because you're both sharpening your skills against each other, and it also makes you kind of want to do a little bit better because you get the file back or whatever, and it looks like you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. I have to like step up to match this, to match it, and then you just keep going back and forth like that. So it's really cool to have someone to kind of like grow up with in the community.
Yeah, like especially with like this collab part, for example, this is like an obstacle course, right? It's really long, so we kind of have to pass the file back and forth, and it was really fun. We're just making jokes the entire time. It's like, all right, I'm gonna go over here, and then you hump my back, and then ride up, okay, and then like if I like hump me over here, and then there's an arrow like to my back and stuff. Yeah. And then next morning I wake up and it's like, oh dude, he did the thing, dude, that's so funny. And then he'd write a note and be like, oh yo, do this thing over here, and I'm like, oh yeah, I got it. It was like playing a video game, you know, back then. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
God.
So what was your favorite battle? You did a few battles with him. What was your favorite battle with Yoyo? Like to work on and or the net result, what it looked like?
Oh man. I mean, it has to be the battle with Turquoise, right? Because that was,
you went hard on that one.
Like I did. I kind of, because back then Turquoise was like the final boss, right? Like he
absolutely
had like no losses in his record, besides like I don't know, like besides Pepper, I believe, right?
And this was early. I think this was after Unbalanced, because Unbalanced came out and that brought a ton of people in to Fluid Anims, and he started just smashing RSG battles out. Then I think somewhere around this time was Shock 1 or 2. Either it just happened or was about to happen. I don't remember the exact timeline, but like he was like really on top. Like if people didn't know who he was, they knew all of his animations if they were watching any of this stuff.
Yeah, and I was blown away by Shock 1. It's still like my number one favorite animation to this day. So you back then, like when people knew that we were gonna fight in an RSG battle, it was like it was the top. It was like front page news in Fluid Anims. Everyone was talking about it. I was super nervous because I'm fighting against one of my heroes, one of my inspirations, and I just feel like if I don't do my best, then it's gonna be a waste of an opportunity. So I was like, hey, you know what? Even if I'm gonna lose, I'll do my best, have fun with it, do comedy like how I usually do it, and then we'll see how it goes. And we both made our animations without showing each other anything or talking to each other anything. Because back then, RSG battle was like, it was a battle of pride and skill, and like everything was kind of like on the line, because it was all about how good you were, or what was your record, how many wins you have, how many losses you have, and stuff. So it was a huge deal for me, and then when we both released our animations, it was crazy, because you counter. And then like it was even at one point, and then I was going ahead, and Turquoise was going ahead a little bit, and it was crazy. And then ultimately, I think I did win.
You did.
It was a lot of people were angry about that, and then they started sending me like hate messages.
Yeah,
like you didn't deserve to win. You deserve because of comedy, and comedy is not animation. You son of a bitch.
Come on.
That's what it was though. Is that it was a matchup of like, here's this thing that's just raw stick fight, and they get right to it, and that's pretty much it. And then Hyun's was more of like a story and had humor and choreography and like, that's what got people so torn, because you have half the people that just love like the mechanics only, like they're really drawn to the mechanics. You have other people that want like more of a story and want like the full picture and want to be entertained, not just the mechanics, right? And that was literally like it was like oil and water mixing, and you could see it in the voting. Yeah. It was heated.
That's interesting.
The results, people were very, very split on what their thoughts were on that win. So I was kind of sad about it, but also that was kind of like I don't even know. It was really exciting. It was really exciting, and I couldn't sleep for like weeks. I was like, oh
really?
I beat Turquoise. This is insane. This is crazy, man.
Yeah, because he showed up every time, dude. Like looking at this now, like I remember studying this animation over and over and over forever. Because you got to realize that like at the time, the actual things that he's showcasing in this animation were like first ofs. Like how he went into his attacks, the arches, like zooming in and out of the camera, those sword swings, like a lot of the stuff was being invented on this animation, which is why it was so heated, because Hyun's animation was so good. But then people were seeing this, like, what about his sword swipes where he uses the trail to illustrate the actual swing? That no one was doing that. So like there were small things like that went into this that made this mechanically unique. And so I totally get it. I remember looking at this and being like, "Oh shit," because I'm just watching like popcorn in a bucket. Like, oh my god, dude, this is nuts.
Yeah, it was crazy. That whole, I guess that whole saga was one of the pinnacles of my Fluid Anims career, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's definitely my number one highlight for fighting with Yoyo.
That's such a cool one too. It's such a cool story. Like all of it together culminating to that. And like I said, the timing for that, I remember it just couldn't be even more. Like I think the timing for you too, because Drunken Stick really stabilized itself, and you gave a name to yourself from that, and people had an expectation of like your style and what you were going to be able to produce. And then also simultaneously, there was this like unobtainable skill level feature of Turquoise, and those two things coming together was like, it was big, very big.
Yeah, it was like everything that as a kid and everything that I've learned, everything that I've experienced, all put into one animation, and then like one big event of voting. It's just you can't replicate that.
No.
It's really ingrained into my memory, that moment.
Super cool. It was a big moment for me, because this is one of like the first big moments where I realized like RHG had staying power because of how much all the different variables that were baked into that moment and how special and unique and also like visceral it was. I was like, oh wow, this is it. Like this is exactly, I wanted people animating things, very talented, pushing different limits, totally different opposing styles, but showcasing each character in their own unique way. And having a split audience on it was even the best part, in my opinion. That was the coolest part, because it's one thing if it's like a total stomp, right? And it's just like 99 votes to 1. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, we all get it. That's what looks like it happens. But the fact that it was torn was the coolest part.
It was torn, yeah, and it was an upset. It was an upset because I was fully expecting to lose. And like just to see that result and everyone going crazy over it. Oh man, it's crazy. I'm still getting like goosebumps over that. It was so cool.
So cool.
That's crazy. Man, every time y'all share these stories from like Fluid Anims or Stick Page, whatnot, it makes me jealous.
I know.
Is it very? You
guys missed that.
It was a very.
I really did.
It was like every day was just flow state. I don't know if that was any other way to describe it, but like everyone was just kind of like dialed in to like the same feeling.
It
somehow.
Just seems like the golden age of stick figure animation, and then I happen to join in at the very end of it.
It was a very big curve, I think, like of exponential growth.
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn. Hopefully, we'll bring that back.
Yeah.
Well, I think we'll see a renaissance.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we've got to segue into how you came up with 1, because that's now like the predecessor. How did he come into the picture?
And has anyone made 2?
Yeah, there is actually a 2.
I'm serious. I know there's a 7. That was a.
There's a 7. There's a 2. There's a 0. all numbers are now existed now. But yeah, one a very unexpected character that came up into my life, I guess, because this right now, One versus Many, it was actually part of a collab. It was Mikul's collab that he was hosting, which was called One versus Many. So I decided to join, and the prompt was basically one dude fighting a bunch of other dudes, and that's it, right? that was the premise.
It's one versus many.
And I was like, yeah, and I was like, oh man, I don't want to use Yoyo because I've already done a lot with Yoyo. Maybe I should do like a random stick figure. So I just quickly made this sword, this green sword with the blue character, and then I made, and then that I don't think that collab was ever released.
Oh wow.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever released, and so I just uploaded it. I just called it One versus Many because that was just the title of the collab. And
so
it was supposed to just end there.
Mikul could sue you.
Get him.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, get him.
Sue the balls off him.
Okay.
Well, yeah, that's where it was supposed to end. But then after the dojo came up and everything, and RSG was kind of stagnant because Stone was, in Stick Page doing his thing over there, and I still wanted RSG on my community. So one is kind of like the updated RSG over Yoyo, and because like before I made Yoyo, I always wanted to make a sword character, obviously because I was inspired by Turquoise and all that. So my true passion actually lies within sword fighting. So I made a sword character, and I was like, dude, I need to make a cool character, but I don't know, maybe should I just pick this random character that I made in this random collab a while ago? And then I was like, yeah, sure, I'll just use this guy because he has a sword and I already made it.
Yeah.
And then like I kind of try to think of stories of how to make this an actual character, and I was like, oh man, what should his name be? Should his name be like Billy Bob, or I don't know?
Yeah, pick it something.
Sword. I can't name him Sword because I already have Yoyo. That'd be kind of
weird. This is Weapon, then, my brother.
Yeah. And then I came up with like this basic ass story of like, oh, maybe his name's One because it was One versus Many, and then and then I made this story around him where it's like, oh, he's actually like a prisoner, and his mark is number 1, and that's why they call him One. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. And then
it's so much cooler in your brain, though.
Yeah. So like in my head, I was like, oh, this is
well,
sick.
I mean,
how could I do this?
The thing is you told the story with such confidence, so it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Like now the character is definitively cool, at least seen by most of the community.
Yeah, because and then because when I released One's demo, I guess his prelude, which was kind of like me telling the story of One and actually making him into a character, was when people were like, oh dude, it wasn't One versus Many, that was his actual name, dude, that's genius. And people were like trying to connect dots and stuff. And then I had the idea of like, oh dude, maybe he should, like, him and Yoyo should be brothers because they're like the same color, they have the same hex code, so that they could probably be brothers, dude. And I just did things that just popped into my head that would make it interesting, and that's kind of how I slowly built up that story and all that. But yeah, that's how I made One. It's kind of like everything's kind of last minute of my ideas. I just kind of like molding things together that I made.
That's where the magic is, though.
Yeah.
Like that's where the most lasting characters, the ones that kind of just like come naturally or come out of necessity. Just like, I need this thing, and you're like, okay, well, what's What's the thing that makes the most sense? And you just keep rolling with it, and you'll find I found time and time again, people have made characters that people know. A lot of them are like that. They're designed that way, and the ones that people don't know anything about, people are like, "Oh, I have a 27-page thesis I wrote on this very well planned out character that they end up doing nothing with because it's too daunting, too overwhelming, too much of a, you know what I mean? It's the ones that feel right that have the staying power. Which brings me to, when will we see them again? Are we going to see Yo-Yo and One in the future?
Oh man, yeah, I have. I mean, speaking of people writing like 25-page stories of their characters that they never release, I mean, that's literally me at this point. I really have like a 20-page story written out for my characters now, and I keep redoing it, reworking it, trying to make it better. And yeah, I'm just kind of stuck in a phase where like I keep wanting better for my characters and making it. But yeah, I do have plans for them to animate them again.
That's cool.
It's just yeah, I even storyboards that I've already finished. It's just I just keep going back to it and changing it, and you know,
that's cool though.
It's just, yeah, it's like a never-ending editing phase for me. But yeah, I do plan to keep making duels and stuff like that, and trying to push the story aspect of stick figures, because I think that's another very satisfying thing to do, is to have people actually care about your characters.
It is,
other than just seeing them as stick figures that are made to just fight and die.
Yeah, it is. Stories often neglected in stick figure animation. Though I think in the last like few years, it's been a lot of the more popular stick figure characters, like Kill the Guy or Cinder. I think Donnie Boots' character.
Cinder, yeah.
A lot of them are built around story.
Yeah,
well, they still have good action, but you know.
Yeah, they still have the goods, but the story has come a long way, because it was before there was a very definitive line in the sand, and your stick figure animation was nonstop action fighting, or it was basically a tween fest, slow dialogue read, storyline cinematic, and there was really like only hints of action and combat. It's like more. I think it's the lines are being blurred together more in a more entertaining way now, because in the past, like, you would always just skip the first 30 seconds of any animation because you're like, yawn, dude, I don't care. I don't care about this, like my brother, he will be sad. Like, it was always like, just it came out of nowhere dialogue. You didn't really care about it because it was so vague or whatever, and then boom, all of a sudden now you get to the action, you're like, okay, that's what I was looking for. But now it's more masterfully done, and it really does make you care a lot more about the characters, and it makes people more invested in the characters because they're getting a little bit closer to life. As weird as that might be, they're closer and more something you can connect with better.
Wait, but stick figures are supposed to be realistic.
They're not.
What do you mean they're being more real?
That's the weird part, right? It's the truth, but also the irony to it. It's like, what do you mean? Like, how could they be more real? Well, you feel like they're more real. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the animations, the animations that did the most with me were like around story as well, because that's why Turquoise pretty much won all of his battles, is because he's really good at just telling stories of his character.
Oh yeah, he's still really good.
Next, and he was even evolving, like he cut off his arm and now he doesn't have an arm, so how is he going to deal with that, like battle damage or just history of his past battles. I know there's a fight with D, right? The archer dude. That one affected me emotionally. I don't know if you guys know about
wow.
But after he killed D, he was just like, dude, I'm done fighting. I'm not gonna fight anymore. And he just left his sword. You guys remember that, dude? I was like, oh my god. Dude,
he challenged everything, every single upload. He was 100% never complacent with anything ever. He would always do something in a different style or different attempt, completely new things or new themes. Everything usually had like an entirely new mood to it. You know, like it either have a dark mood or a sad mood or a really upbeat, happy, light mood. Yeah, it makes, he was really good about storytelling in a subtle way. It wasn't with dialogue, and it also spanned multiple animations together, like what you're saying. You know, like that evolution over time really helps solidify the character.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why Gilded Guy's animation is so interesting, because he does like the same thing where his character kind of evolves through life. Through the animations, he kind of learns something, but also like takes away from it, and it kind of stays with him. So I love that kind of stuff. That's stuff I will eat that all day when it comes to stick figure animation. And it's kind of like it takes them away from just being bags of blood, which they were just bags of blood just fighting each other for the longest time. When these stories started coming out, it was like a whole new level of stick figure animations for sure.
I agree.
Memories, bro. Memories.
Infomercials.
Yeah, we got to talk about these. So up next we have the Hyun ads, dude. The Hyun ads. If you haven't seen these yet, you're in for a treat. Okay, because I remember this is my kind of my dead period where I was not in the community at all, but I still kept tabs on what people were doing, like lurking. And I remember I was watching just a random video on YouTube, I think, and I was like, "Holy shit, that's Hyun! What the hell?" It was literally, I think it was the League ad. I was like, what am I watching, dude? No way. And it was, I could tell immediately. And it was Hyun's, like, I don't know how else to say other than his commercial character. Because you do all these ads, and there's like a guy. Like, he's literally not distinct at all, in the sense that he is still just a stick figure, but like, it's the face, it's the drawing style, it's your voice acting, it's all.
Yeah, it's me, dude. It's just me. It's literally just me, dude.
It's just you talking, but they're so good, dude. They're the best at, like, you can't skip a Hyun ad.
No, never.
Absolutely, dude. So, like, how did these requests just start? Because obviously you don't just start like making ads and you're like, cool, I'm gonna make ads for animations now. So you like, how did these requests for these start to begin? Like, how did that come to be?
It's kind of, I need to remember when they started, because I think it started with just like a random email, because after the Dojo kind of became a little bigger on YouTube, naturally you'll just start getting emails of random companies trying to advertise stuff. Advertise their product on your channel and all that stuff. And that's kind of how I got started. I just got a random email of some random company, and they're like, "Hey, you want to advertise this thing over here?" Yeah. And then I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you some money." And I was like,
"You're like, you can do that?"
Yeah,
let's do that. Wow, I love being able to pay bills and eat. That's cool.
I just have the stream is not sponsored by any of these.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah,
all just the previous.
These are all very old. Oh, dude, I love this one. I love this one. Wait, can you play the volume on this one?
Yeah, let's
wait,
let's actually play something legit. We have to watch the newest one, the unreleased, or one of the unreleased ones.
Oh, we will. I know which one.
What the hell are you doing all alone in the desert?
These are so old,
like a dried up sponge. Here, take some water.
Wait, what is that?
That's just a new MMORPG that I've been playing called Black Desert All Night. It's a newly remastered MMO with refreshing visuals, juicy combat mechanics, just dripping with content.
This setting is so
Sure is, and it's a real-time action-based combat system. This
God,
game
I said this a couple days ago. We were meeting for this. Hyun's ads are the only ads I never skip.
They're so good. Dripping.
Same,
dude.
So funny. They're just perfect comedic timing.
Brand new Dre Gun expansion. There's
Dude,
hundreds
I've
of
made
new quests,
so
places
many.
to
I think
explore,
I've made
even a
over
new
100
world boss
ads
with a
now.
giant
I
dragon.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
That's
Oh, you
wild.
want to try the game? Well, you're in luck,
Good
old man.
ones.
If
There's
you
some
click
good.
on
Hold
the
on, let me.
description link below, you'll
What
be
were
able
some
to
of the
play
better
the game
ones?
free
Dude,
for
the one we were
7
watching in the
Yeah,
classroom.
no, wait.
Cog.
We gotta watch
You
the
have to play the
Cog.
Cog one, dude. Oh my god.
Oh man, that's
Okay, wait,
Dude,
hang
I
on.
was
The recent
crying.
one.
It was
Yeah, so
look
this,
at this.
this one apparently was never released, right?
It was never released on our channels or anything, but I believe the dude ran it as ads. But yeah, you guys
Watch
can just
this.
watch it.
You have to
Okay.
watch this.
Comprised of mammals. Vaporeon are an average of 3 feet, which is tall, and at 63.9 pounds. This means they are large enough to be able to handle.
Oh, this lecture's so boring. I'm passing out. Sneaking into little Eidolon should keep me up. My woodcutter's
subtle.
done chopping, my miner's done digging. Now I can craft that gold trimmed staff for my elemental sorcerer.
Yeah, it's just
Wait, are you playing multiple games at once or something? No, you idiot. In Eidolon, I have 10 different characters all farming away. And while they grind,
watching
I
the
can
ad.
go discover new alchemy vials, play a round of tower defense, cook some pizza, and breed pets for my daily arena run. Oh yeah, and look at my massive cog. Wait, what? Yeah, my cog collection. Yeah, look at that. What? What's he saying? He's doing it. A game with infinite things to beat boredom for sport.
dude, watch the
Play for free.
Eversoul Final 3. Final 3 is really
They're
down.
so
The
gold.
what
How do you
funnel?
come up with these?
Eversoul.
Ever so. Hang on.
It's
Okay.
like it's near the top.
Oh,
How
is
do
it?
you come up with these like settings?
What?
Because like I feel like your process is you figure out like a theme or a setting, and then you're like, all right, how do I weave this into the story? Because like the other guy, he was in the middle of the desert, like dying of thirst, and he just wants water, and you're like, here, have this game, this mobile game. Like, how do you coming up with those concepts?
Dude, I have a lot of these ads are last minute because usually when people sponsor YouTubers, it's just literally an ad read, and
Yeah.
they can pump that out in with it, right? Just like
Yeah, absolutely.
Mhm.
So like me being very different because when I advertise, I'd be like, yo, dude, we can make this sick animation. It's gonna be really cool. Everyone's gonna love it. It's gonna be different. The retention is gonna be a lot better. And they're like, okay, cool. Do it in 3 days.
Yeah, they're like, cool. We're not paying you.
Um,
Okay, two things. One, we're not going to pay you any more for this, and two, you need to still do it in the same amount of time. And you're like, okay, yeah.
Exactly. So that's why the style is so janky, because you have 2 days to make an ad like this, like a 1 minute, 2 minute ad
Yeah, and that's a
Have to
long
write-
time.
on the day, record everything on the make the plan as you go, like as you're animating, and then just push it out a couple of days. So it's very last minute, but at the same time, it kind of forces you to kind of like, this is a good idea. This is pretty funny. And like, if I physically just laugh at the idea, that's a good idea. So I just push that out.
That is true. Like that is literally the best barometer. Like if you can make yourself laugh, or if you're giggling while you're doing it, I've found like that is
Yeah.
the greatest success rate across anything. Because as soon as you show it to anyone else, they're gonna see it fresh for the first time, and they're gonna have the same effect.
Years of searching and experimenting
Yeah.
with the
Oh, this is the Dojo shirt.
Yeah.
Yes.
By gosh, darn golly, I've finally done it. The new Dojo shirts are
Whose hand is that?
Oh, that's
John,
John's hand.
that's a John hand. I
Okay.
can tell. Why?
Like, I kind of want to know. Like, the more I look at this, just the more absurd this picture feels.
Oh yeah.
You
The
know?
more chaotic.
The hand is coming out from the bathroom, by the way.
It is. He's taking a dump, dude. It's a John
You
dump.
know, I
dude.
kind of figured.
Oh yeah, but yeah, going back to the ads. Hold on, let me stop watching. So yeah, I think the pinnacle of that my ad career, I guess, was when League of Legends actually reached out to me and they're like, "Yo, you want to make an ad for us and our
You're like,
game?"
nah, it's good.
I'm
Thanks,
like,
guys.
Yeah. Hey, are you kidding me? This like, do you not see my animations? They look like poop. And they're like, just do it. I think it's funny. It's a good idea. And then that's pretty much what I'm known for now, even to this day.
Really?
They're like, hey, you're that guy who made that League of Legends ad, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Because they pushed that ad for years, like
They did.
years
Yeah,
and
they
years
did.
and years.
They certainly
that
did.
same ad, that same animation on YouTube, they pushed that so hard, and I'm pretty sure that's probably my worst, my most watched animation, technically, for sure.
And speaking as someone who's dealt with a lot of like back end ad rev type stuff, the only reason why they would be pumping money into it is because it's consistently outperforming all the other ads that they were running. So that does say something about animation's ability to hold retention and your comedic delivery, keeping people's attention throughout the duration of the ad read, because they wouldn't just pump money into it because the guy who spends the money for the ad stuff just felt like it would be cool to do. Like, it definitely was performing well for them if they kept doing it.
Yeah, and that was out of nowhere. But like, that's kind of how it all started. It kind of starts with an opportunity that just kind of lands on your lap while you're doing your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you take opportunities where they come, and then eventually they'll open more doors into other things, and then you just keep taking them as they come. And that's kind of how it all started with the whole ad thing.
Legendary.
It's really funny how people still know me about that.
What the hell?
These are so good, dude.
What happened? Oh, dude, don't watch that.
I don't know which one
No,
it is.
It was Eidolon Final 3 where he's shaking his ass at the camera.
He's twerking at the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Give him a little shine too. It's shiny little, he's all
Sarah
oiled up.
animated that one.
So good, dude. Oh,
That's so funny.
okay. Shall we move on to one of the biggest subjects I think that I've seen people talk about, which is the Dojo website, and how and why was the Dojo created? Going to the start.
Oh man, I mean, it was all because of Fluid Anims. That's where I should just end it, because my life was Fluid Anims Stone. I don't know if you know that, but it was a lot of people's just daily lives. Fluid Anims was my homepage on my browser because I went on there so much. And when we all figured out that Fluid Anims was merging with Stickpage, and then we all kind of realized it wasn't working out, is when I had ideas for the dojo, because I was doing my League of Legends stuff because I was reached out by League to animate for them, and the opportunity, and I got some money from that, right? Because it was like a big commission. It was my first big commission from them.
I remember that. We had a discussion about that. Do you remember that?
We did. I did remember talking to you about that because I was torn. That was
it this? This was for a collab though, right?
This was the final comeback collab. This was his.
This was it. This was
okay. So we made a comeback collab originally when I first came back for after my 2-year hiatus when Shift Limits was kind of on its rise, right? I made a comeback collab and I finally came back. That was the origins of comeback collab because I came back. That's why it's called what it's called, right? Mm-hmm. Then, as we were merging, we wanted to do a final comeback collab as a way to like close the case on Fluid Anims by we merge over to Stickpage. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. This is your comeback collab part, right?
It is. It is, because I was playing League of Legends a lot during that time. I was like, dude, I should just make a League of Legends animations because I want to. And yeah, this was my actual collab part. Mm-hmm. And this part actually got noticed by Riot Games, Riot Games senior producer back then, Thomas, actually gave me a YouTube. Did you know you can DM people on YouTube back then?
Oh yeah, way back then. Yeah.
I got a YouTube DM being like, "Yo, it's Riot Games. You wanna make an animation for? You wanna make another one of those things?" And I thought it was a scam at first, so I kind of ghosted him for like a couple of weeks. But then, I his name, and he's like, "Oh, dude, he's actually the senior producer of Riot Games. Like this, why is he DMing me on YouTube? This is so weird." And it ended up with this huge rabbit hole of me being like thrown into this world of League of Legends company business, where they invited me into their offices and they gave me a tour and all that. And I was like, dude, what the heck is going on? I'm just a nobody. Why are they doing this? And we made plans to make Stickfigure Spotlight 2, and I ended up making it. And that's kind of where that huge opportunity came, where like I got funds from Riot Games, and during that whole thing that was happening, Fluid Anims was merging with StickPage, and it was very chaotic. There's like so many things happening at once. I had school, I had college. While all this was happening, and Riot Games wanted me to make this huge project, Fluid Anims was shutting down. My life was like, dude, what do I do? Like, there's so many. I don't know how to handle. So I talked with Stone about it, and I believe I talked to my art teacher in college. I'm like, what do I do, man? This is insane. This is like, I don't know what to do, right? So, and I believe you guys just told me, like, dude, do what you want to do, and you know what the right decision is no matter what. So yeah, I decided to make the League of Legends project. I got all the money from that and just put all of that into, literally every penny of that just went into making the dojo, and me working with Jeff to finish the dojo website to make it just like how Fluid Anims was, because that was my main goal. I'm like, dude, I want Fluid Anims. I just want Fluid Anims back. That's what I told Jeff. Like, I just want Fluid Anims. And then we ended up doing that. We made the dojo. It was like this huge thing. Jeff was the best person for the job. I can't highlight enough Jeff's skill when it comes to like his coding, his front end development, along with advertising the dojo himself, making everything like super epic for the release. That was all Jeff. That was literally all
way
Jeff.
ahead of the curve. He's very ahead. He was very ahead of the curve, in so many ways.
He was. Because you've worked with him, and he designed Fluid Anims too, right? Back then.
Oh yeah, because he was the portal designer. I did the web design, and he did the full back end of like anything that worked mechanically impressive on the website, like anything that had to do with like uploading to the website, or like any of the fun little side stuff, the ounce system, the store shop, the ounce store, all that stuff was all Jeff.
Yeah, he was a genius. He's I'm pretty sure.
I remember that conversation we had. I remember first of all, you're just like, I don't know how much to charge for something like this. And I remember you said something like super low. And then I literally 10x the number, and I'm like, tell him this. And you're like, fucking what? And I was like, I'll tell him this number. And I promise you, and I remember breaking it down. I was like, look, this is what this could do for them, number wise, base level. Like bare minimum, it's gonna do this. And I know that it's gonna do better than that. But this is what they're gonna look at that and be like, yeah, that's totally fine. And you're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you have no idea. You can do this 1,000%. Like, if this is something you want to do, just know that it's a real thing, and you will be successful at it. I just remember being like so behemoth about that. I was like, all my rocks are in that basket for you. Other fun fact, a little backstory about the League connection. I later found out that Fluid Anims is one of the premier websites to have the full left and right banner ads, where it was like it wasn't just like a bar, but like the left and right hand side of the website would have like a full image ad, and there was only a couple companies that would run those, and League actually started their campaign running those. And since I was one of the few websites that ran it, League was on the back end of the Fluid Anims like all the time. And Dyrus, the top laner for TSM, I later came to find out that he was a huge fan of my stuff, huge fan of Fluid Anims, and he tried League of Legends because of the ads that were on Fluid Anims. And he thought, oh, this is where all the cool animators are.
No way.
Not even kidding. He thought, this is where all the cool animators are. I guess I'm going to try out this game. I guess he tried it. He said he hated it, didn't want to play it. He uninstalled the game, came back to it again because he was on Fluid Anims, kept seeing. He's like, all right, whatever. I guess I'll give it a try. And then later, obviously the rest is history. But I think that's part of the reason why, like, Fluid Anims and the animations on there were on the radar for Riot early on, is because fundamentally the guys that were dealing with the ad stuff were seeing results coming from the website, and then they were seeing, like especially when it tied in with your animation. I think the timing was perfect for that, and it would have been peak like early TSM, early like esports development type stuff. It's just so funny how everything works together.
That's crazy how that works, how all that is timed up. But where was I? What was I talking about again? I forgot.
Dojo site. Jeff,
Dojo.
Being a wizard.
Yeah, okay. So that whole thing happened, and I believe the rest is history. We continued doing the like old people that were in the Fluid Anims community came back. We started doing collabs again, and my long-term goal when making the dojo was kind of like, we got to get Stone back, and because he was the reason why I made the dojo, because I just wanted Fluid Anims, and I want the guy from Fluid Anims back, and I will keep these lights on until he comes back.
Wow.
And lo and behold, he's sitting right here.
Dude.
Came crawling back. And I'm just really happy about that, because that was one of my main goals.
That's so funny, because I never knew that. Like that was my goal the entire time I've been gone also, but I didn't know that from your perspective. The whole time I was gone, the only reason I stopped is because I needed to make money so that I could come back. Because like I was like, okay, I'm broke. I have bills to pay. I have a kid now. I have to just like, how do I find my way back here? Because in order to be back, I have to have time to do it, and I have to somehow bring those two things together. And I tried back in like I finally got somewhat stable, doing my like card sales and stuff. And I came back and I was so excited in like 2019. Either late 2018 or 2019. Mm-hmm. And that's when like the early Stone Reviews was coming back. I started working for Alan a little bit. I started being like, I wasn't in the Discord because I don't think I was like using Discord much then as far as like being in the chat or anything, but I was like here, right? Yeah. And I was so excited. Yeah. And then it was all rug pulled again until again, just recently, years later now. So it's so cool to be back here.
Yeah. And I'm happy. I'm happy because it's just it was my long-term goal, and now it's happened, and we're now doing these podcasts. Just it's like business as usual, kind of, and we're trying to bring back that old Fluid Anims spirit. Is also one of my long-term goals, is for that to happen. Bring my childhood back, because we missed out, man. We missed out.
Oh, dude,
because of Fluid Anims. Sure. Like 100%. A lot of people missed out. Like Hatena here, he could have been part of it. You know?
He could have. He was probably 5, but
wait, what year was this?
2012 was the end. So like peak Fluid Anims was like 2010 to 2012.
I would have been 9 to like 11. People still think I'm in my 30s. Newsflash, I'm only 23.
Yeah, I started Fluid Anims when I was 14, and it was no longer mine when I was 21. That was so it was my childhood into adulthood was basically that. And I started animating long before that too. So I started in 2004. So like it was a huge part of my childhood also growing up. So it's very important to me. And it's like, again, my whole thing is like, it's not really the name. People were really caught up in the name. Like it's the people, it's the community,
Yeah.
it's creating things together. That's what it was. It wasn't necessarily just the the name.com. That's the least important part about it. And so you're doing it. It is real.
Yeah, and I just want, like, you know, when I talk about Fluid Items, you always hear me getting excited, and I always get goosebumps talking about it. But that's kind of like what I want to bring back and what I want to share with other people to get that same feeling, because it was so exciting back then. It was like the golden age of the internet for sure. Oh man, yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much.
I mean, that's got to bring us to our last point. That's got to bring us to our last point for the website then, which is, it was recently shut down. Is it ever coming back?
Yeah, so that's another long story that I can get into. So the dojo was made, right? And everything was great. Stuff was happening. We're doing collabs every year. And over time, you know, people grow up, people get busy, stuff happens. I'd say nothing lasts forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case for the dojo as a website, at the very least, because after the dojo was made by Jeff, it was so made like for our community, right? And that website itself was coded by Jeff, and it could only be coded by Jeff.
Yes.
But he ended up getting busy with real life, obviously, because he has people to support and a job to do. When the dojo kind of never really made revenue, for me to like support updating it or, you know, making new features and stuff like that. So after all this time, up to like a few months ago when the dojo had to shut down, it was running on like, I don't even know, like 15-year-old code that hasn't been updated.
Mm-hmm.
So every year or so, another thing on the dojo would stop working because of just like the internet updating, and everything just kind of going up in technology while the dojo was stagnant. So stuff started breaking. We started getting invaded by bots every single day. It was rough. It was rough keeping the lights on for the website because I didn't know how to update it, and other people didn't know how to update it because it was so custom. Jeff didn't have time to update it because not only was he busy, but also like the code is so old. It's just like if you want to update it, it's probably impossible because you just can't do it.
It's like an abandoned building. Yeah, it's like a rundown house has mold everywhere, and it's like at this point you just bulldoze it and start fresh because you're going to repair every nail in this building to get it to be operable.
Yeah, and so that was going to be like Dojo 2.0, right?
Yeah, that was the plan. I was like, I sat down with Jeff, being like, "Yo, I got, you know, I'm willing to put down money again to just build this whole thing from the ground up, and we should do this." And we made plans. We wrote up a bunch of plans. I made a bunch of mock-ups and everything. Everything was good. It was supposed to happen again. It was supposed to be like the rebirth, right? But yeah, it's just life. Life happens, and I think Jeff was just he just can't he can't put hours and hours and hours into developing a modern community website has very specific custom features for little to no money, because I'm not rich. I can't fund things as much as like the company that he's working for, you know.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was on and off for a while, and just after years of just like, you know, we're just holding on, trying to wait for the new dojo to come out. We're just waiting, and I keep promising that it's coming, it's coming, it's coming soon. You know, I always said that. They're like, "Oh, when's Dojo 2 coming out?" And I'm just like, "It's coming out tomorrow. Don't worry." And I've been saying that for like
Just check for soon on your calendar. Find where that is, and that's when it's coming out.
But I ultimately saw where it was going, and I pulled the plug. I'm like, it's not gonna happen. It's just impossible. So, yeah, that's when I made the decision. It's rough. It was like it's such a history. It's such a big piece of history in a lot of our lives, especially me, because it's like it's like my whole project, right? It's like my life.
That'd be really hard, for sure.
Oh man, I'm actually tearing up. This
For sure, though. No, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah,
it was the right choice, though, for the website, for sure. Because
it's like
that's got to be so hard.
My entire life, I had to throw it in the trash,
I mean, I think a lot of people felt similarly, but I think I think most people understood, but they were, of course, very vocally upset about it.
Yeah, I understood that too. I was,
yeah,
because it's like I want to make things happen, but it's just like you just can't do it. You just can't do it. And it's hard. Like I tried, and but what came after that was like I kind of like right now I was like emotional. It's hard. It's hard letting something so big and just letting it go, and to just trying to make it. And after that, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this shit myself. I'm gonna do it myself. And I'm gonna learn web development, WordPress, or whatever I have to learn. I'm gonna learn it. And that's what I've been doing. I've been studying a lot of front end development with WordPress and how to make a community myself, something that I want and something that I can just update myself and do myself, and it'll be worth it at the end. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm learning and I'm building something that I want for you guys, for something that I wanted when I was a kid, and what I experienced, and I still believe that's possible 100%, and it is coming. So
it is. So now, so now it's you are self-developing it. That does kind of future-proof it better, for sure, because now, like you're saying, like if you're making something that's very novel and very or proprietary for specifically your needs, if you're the one developing it, you can follow it up. You know what I mean? That was like, that is like the smartest route to take, I think, honestly. Even if it takes longer, it's not like anyone else, everyone's still here. That's like the important thing to know is like everyone's going to be still here and it's going to be ready when it's ready, And I think that the time it takes for you to get it done the correct way is what everyone would want, not only for you, but for them as well. So I think that's 100%. Like definitely the right choice. I think it's the right choice taking the website down as hard as it is. Because I don't know if you guys have ever dealt with something like being hacked or bots. But it is incredibly stressful and it's incredibly overwhelming. Like you can't beat mathematical algorithms swarming you. You just don't. Like if you're manually fixing things that, first of all, you may not even know how to fix it. You can only like put band-aids on the top of an ocean, a geyser of water, and you just keep putting more and more band-aids. It just doesn't do anything, and you just end up burying yourself in stress and worry. And the hackers and bots just get stronger and better, and you don't know how much more they could take advantage of or whatever. So like it was definitely the right choice, as hard as it was, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was getting to the point where the dojo was not a safe site to even be on. I mean, the old dojo.
Yeah.
So
and you don't want that.
That's where I made that decision. And I mean, we're still a strong community. Like our Discord is super active, and we still do events. But yeah, like better things are definitely on the horizon for sure.
Well, cool.
Emotional segment. Wow.
Yeah, dude, I did not expect to get one. That was the last thing that I thought I would do on this.
That tells me that you're truly passionate about it, though. That you really, really, really care.
Then that's the most important part. That's the key.
Yeah, bro. Damn.
That is the key.
Well, and then we can hop down to this last segment, and then we'll answer some questions from chat. But first, before we get into that, I know we still have one more segment of our own, but I want to look over some art.
Yeah, let's do that.
Decompress after
let's
that.
do that.
Yeah. Segue.
Let's see some artwork, please.
Alrighty. Well, first of all, we got
Yo.
Kaelun. I don't know. I'm sorry.
That's a tough one.
Ooh.
But that is really impressive.
Hand-painted.
What? No,
Hand-painted?
it's digital.
That's digital? Wait, what?
No, it's not. I'm.
Well, I don't know. It could be digital in the space to make it look it was, hand painted.
But I mean, it's technically we're looking at it through a digital screen, so technically,
oh my God,
it is digital.
So cool. Dude, I have a respect for people who still do paintings physically because that's
yeah.
I almost think it's like a lost art nowadays.
Yeah, it's so different. It's so much more difficult oftentimes.
Because you really have to know the medium. I feel like you get away with brushstroke. You might be an impressive artist and just take a new brushstroke loadout into Photoshop or PaintSci or whatever you're using, and you kind of immediately get away with not having to understand the medium that you're working with as much because the program has kind of figured some of that out. But when you're working with it with your hands and you have the paint, you have to get the right consistencies and layer it appropriately. It's a little different. There's definitely skill involved.
I feel like the biggest difference in skill and medium is
control.
Well, in digital you have layers, but in a physical painting you have to think what are the backmost layers, and you have to work on those first and then build onto that.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a completely different process.
Yeah,
it's a huge respect.
And the undo in real life is shitty.
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can't when you're painting like this.
It is not good.
If you make a bad stroke, you got to try and make it work.
Yeah, Control Z sucks.
Or start over. Yeah, Control Z sucks in real life. It doesn't do anything.
That signature is really cool, by the way. I know it has little to do with the actual art itself, but I love that. Yeah. It's just the letters, and then just dots for the stuff in between. You get it. Here's some of the letters. You get what's happening here.
See, they don't even want to spell their own name.
That's the way to do it.
All right, next one is by Yari Loot. So that's a better name.
Wait, this is insane, actually.
Yeah, it almost looked kind of like.
I thought this was a photo for a second.
This person looks so real.
Yeah, I thought this was a photo for a second.
All right, well, the stream can't see my cursor, but that person closest to the camera.
Standing
up.
There's
two of them, but the person the jeans and white shoes.
What the heck?
I thought this was a photo at first glance. I'm not joking.
This is so perspective. It's oh my goodness!
It's the lighting. The light
really good.
The lighting is insane. How accurate it is. How bright the street is versus the shading of the building onto the staircase and everything. Yeah, and all the shading in the distance, in the different architectures of the building, is really impressive to me. And it goes so far back. Look at the buildings in the way far distance, just before the mountain line. Even those still have discernible features.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really good.
Wild one. Great job, Yari Alud. All right, last art to feature is from Gabby Bites.
Good name. Strong.
Oh, I know Gabby Bites.
Very good name.
Good name.
Their name rings a bell.
This reminds me of almost like a D&D character. I don't know why. It's the setting.
Oh wait,
the aesthetic. I could see this being one character.
This lady's from Monster Hunter, I think.
Oh, for real?
I think so. I think she's from Monster
Hunter.
Right?
Dungeons and Dragons, Hyun.
Do you?
Chat knows. Chat. It's from Monster Hunter, right? It's a Monster Hunter.
I don't know. I don't know.
What's chat saying?
Yeah.
Oh, we got
$9.9.
All right,
yeah, it is Monster Hunter.
Monster Hunter. Okay.
Great job. I'm digging the
very good job,
especially on that coat.
Mm-hmm. And the smoke too. I wonder if they went a different program for that.
yo, whatever she's holding, I want to take a hit of that. You know what I'm saying?
I want some lamp.
I just can't.
All right.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Well, hobbies.
Yeah, don't do drugs.
Hobbies, yes. What do you do outside of animation, Hyun?
Hobbies. Yeah, like I said before, I do enjoy cooking. Cooking is, I think, not the reason, not the standard view of cooking as other people might see it. I'm not the person to make pretty dishes. It's kind of like
a necessity cooker.
No, I'm trying to. It's kind of like min-maxing in an RPG game where, like,
dude,
you're trying to get the nutrients
yes,
for the cheapest cost.
Yes.
Like, period. Like, so that's kind of my goal when it comes to cooking. Like, when it comes to, remember when I mentioned the meat log from the last podcast?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was lying, but I actually have a video of it. I posted this in the Discord. A while ago, but you should show the meat log video because just to show them it's true.
Meat log is real, guys. Check this out.
I don't like. I don't like it.
It's real. That's real.
Dude.
Yeah, I eat that.
Why is there a bathtub in the background, dude? Is this?
Yeah,
why are you in a bathroom? Why?
Yeah,
like I said, it's min-max. I don't have to walk as far as steps to the kitchen. I can literally just go to the bathroom.
It's more accurately, you don't have to walk as many steps to the toilet.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly. Why not both? Why not both?
I gotta ask you a question. So if you're only cooking for yourself, are you one of those people that can like eat the same thing every day because it actually gives you comfort? Because you're like, I don't have to think about it. I'm totally okay just eating the same thing. Or do you have to have diversity?
I am okay. Like, I am, the people that know me, they will see me as like the least picky world, and I even eat their like expiring food if it's off. I'll steal it. I'll steal it from them. I'm min-maxing here in life because I need nutrients. I need protein. Vitamins and minerals, and if it's free, because I think that's how I saved money by just taking my roommate's food that they forget about.
I'm turning this video.
The drop is killing me.
Not just for the rest of this.
Yeah, the rest of the questions as well.
So
here, I'll just leave it. I'll just let it keep running in the background and just do this.
Is there any follow-up recipes to meat log that you'd like to share?
Yes, I have one that people will not like, but I like it because it's really good. Okay.
Okay, what is it?
Okay, so I need to get protein, right? So I do have like unflavored protein powder, which is very cheap. So what I would make is protein instant noodles. So you get instant noodles from Walmart, which is like 50 cents, right?
Uh-huh.
You can cook that, and you cook it like any other instant noodle, and then you take it, and then once you have it in the bowl, you wait for it to cool down, because eventually when you add the protein, the scoops of protein powder into your ramen, you don't want it to curdle, because if the water is too hot, the protein curdles and it turns into rubber. Okay, I've done this myself. I cannot. That's the only thing that I cannot swallow. So you have to wait for it to cool down. Add like 2 scoops of unflavored protein powder, and when you mix it up, you're gonna not believe that it's gonna mix, but it will eventually mix in. Okay, and it'll turn into this nice milky ramen that has 80 grams of protein.
Okay, I have this might change your opinion on that meal. Maybe it won't because you're min-maxing, but for someone who's been delving into a lot of this kind of stuff for a while, I actually have some insight as to, you know what that protein powder is? What it actually is? Oh, whey protein? Okay, because most proteins are actually ground mealworm, because mealworm have the highest protein content per ounce or per gram across any protein that you could ask for. So like a lot of the protein drinks that you drink, when it just says like amount of protein, a lot of the times it's actually dried, ground, powdered mealworm.
Damn,
So
I might need to try that. I'm gonna write that down.
Ramen with bugs, dude. It's ramen bugs.
I like hot pockets.
I like hot pockets.
I like put in the microwave, and the center's all cold, and it evens out.
Hell
lava.
yeah! I love how microwave heating up is just RNG, because it's just the particles are just bouncing around randomly, and so it can just miss whole sections of it, and that's why you're left with the cold sections of the hot pocket. Oh yeah, RNG heating. So bug ramen or meat log, dude? I like it, dude. I'm in max too. Bug ramen or meat log?
Yeah. No, we're doing a poll for this. Hold on.
Dude, if I didn't have to feed if I didn't have to feed my like Lexi and Hudson, like my wife and kid, I would be the same way though. I'll be min-maxing honestly, because like there was a period of time when I cut out all breads and also that includes chips, right? But I really like chips. So what I would do to help facilitate the act of like eating chips is what I would do is I'd get a whole bag of spinach and I would just open it up and I just eat it as if I was eating a bag of chips. And I just eat the raw spinach because I was like, I just want nutrients. I don't need anything else. And I need the act of like reaching in a bag and grabbing a singular like chip shaped thing and then eating it. People every day, I did it for months. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, these are my chips. What are you talking about? Like those, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, I need the nutrients. I can't have chips. I need the action and I need to eat the spinach. So why not? Meat log, bug ramen.
I might try that next time.
It's genius. If it, and you're like, hey, this actually tastes really good. It does. Get baby spinach from Costco because it's like $5 to get a huge thing of it, and just eat them like you're eating chips. Just open it up, eat it, one at a time. Boom. You don't need to make a salad. Nothing. Min-max salad.
Damn.
It's the way to go.
Well, I think that's a good point to go on to
segue into our questions. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I've not been able to stop thinking about Pokemon ramen versus meat log. They pose pretty close. So whatever you guys were talking about for the last couple minutes, I was not listening at all.
It's meat log. Meat log wins. Meat log wins.
Apparently, yeah, it looks like meat log is winning.
Good job, guys.
You know, similarly to candy corn enjoyers.
Oh my god, dude.
All right.
Tis the season.
Tis the season. All right. We're going to go ahead and do some questions here, but first we have a couple donations. First is $50 from Stickly. Our lovely Stickly.
$50.
It says, thanks for everything, Hyun. And he donated that while you were talking about the Dojo website. Thought I would
Oh, man, while I was tearing up
Stickly,
and
man.
sobbing like a little... Oh, man, thank you.
Stickly's the best.
So, keynote, keep crying. It makes money.
Dude, crying is
I'll make
good.
sure to cry next stream.
Hey, welcome
Whenever we do whenever we do yours or mine, we have to do a subject that we're gonna cry at. It's profitable.
It's profitable crying.
No, but thank you, Stickly.
Someone's poking me in my eyes the whole stream. I can't do this. You paid him to be here.
And then Miffy donated $2.30, saying thank you again, Hyun and gang, for the stream. And
thank you, Miffy.
for watching.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here,
Appreciate that,
guys.
man. What a champ. What a champ.
All right. First actual question from Goat Finger Show, which is an awesome name. How old is Hyun?
Oh boy. Let's go to the next question.
How elderly are you?
No comment.
Well, hey, my username was Flying Panda 1990, so you can do the math on that.
Do the math yourself.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna be turning 35.
Yeah,
35 soon.
Older than Bo
35
Burnham.
soon.
You're
Yep.
11
I'm
years older
34
than
right
me.
now.
Wow.
Yep. Same
I
age.
said I was a boomer when I started animation. I think I started when I was like 18, 19 when it comes to animating.
Wow.
So yeah, I'm a lot older than the average around these parts.
Yep.
I am curious if a lot of animators started early just in this community, or if that's a normal thing in animation entirely.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm curious to know. Yeah, I don't know how I'd go at getting that information, but
I'm the same age, but I started younger. But then again, Hyun, you kind of did start the same time I did. It just wasn't in like an internet-based way.
Yeah. Oh,
you know,
probably. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I started when I was 10.
10.
Man, yeah, 10.
That's crazy.
10.
And how old are you now? You're like, what was it 12?
Yeah, I'm 12.
Yeah, damn.
I'm de-aging every day.
You're a very well-spoken 12-year-old.
I don't have much time left. I have 23 days left. All right. Next question from Tito Cato Ferro asks regarding the RHG battle of Yoyo versus FL. Stone, who did you vote for?
Ooh.
Here it is. See the right answer, Stone.
Well,
we might not have a guest tomorrow.
For those who know me, I think you know how I'm going to answer, because I did vote for turquoises. I did. It was really because I was so infatuated with the animation mechanics that he was pulling off frame by like I spent hours going through small sections of frames of that animation just trying to figure out, because there's so many special nuggets in there that I was like so mesmerized on how he went about doing them. And it's not that I didn't like Hyun's. I really did like Hyun's. And I thought that they were probably one of the closest of like the bigger battles that were out there, period. But it was the distinctive thing for me, and it's because I've always been very animation mechanics leaning when it comes to stick figure animations, that was the deciding factor for me, that he went so hard in what is basically my very specific kind of thing I love the most, which is just that raw 2D side-scrolling type of action. That it's like he made it specifically for me, to be honest. It's like my ideal animation to date. So yeah, I remember. I hovered back and forth, and it was a situation where I didn't think I would be hovering either way. I thought it'd be hard locked turquoise to start, but especially because I think I saw his first too. I think I saw his first, and then yours, and I was like pushed back into my chair, like there's no way. Like how am I even gonna like? How do I like cleanse my palate to see the neck, like to see his part now with like clean eyes? Because I'm gonna be so like not paying attention because I'm gonna be thinking back to what I just watched. But no, I was re-immersed when I was seeing yours for the first time, and I was like, "Oh shit, like, this is actually insane." So yeah, but I did vote for turquoise, dude. I'm sorry.
Hey, it's all right. Hey, it's okay. We can look for a new host next week.
I totally get it. I'll see myself out. Yeah.
Nah. I argue because Stone is the reason we're still doing this. Because you and me alone, we just kind of let it slide.
That's my one ticket. Yeah, that's the one thing. That's the one thing I saved myself with there.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Can't get rid of him yet. At least I vote no. It has to be unanimous. We have a democracy here that has never been established until this moment.
Next question.
Next question.
Next question. From Random Peruvian. They ask, will we have more lore about Hyunrolled or just what we have in the wiki?
Wait, what's on the wiki?
I don't know.
Dude, people. Hey, I'm just gonna say right now, people post some weird things on Wiki. All right, you don't believe everything you see on Wiki.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the Hyun's Dojo, because I think some wildly random things on there.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's on the Wiki, but when it comes to Hyunrolled was. I have so many weird identities because I was that blue stick figure with the rainbow hat.
Yep.
For a long time, and then people now know that as Fiddlesticks because I put that same character in one of my League of Legends animations.
Yep.
Called Fiddlesticks.
Oh, yeah.
So Hyunrolled is actually just it was like one of my personas. Not really a character, but I actually do want to make him a character in a story, which I'm like planning, but it's kind of, I don't think it's gonna work because it's so random. But the whole, I think there's very basic lore for him. Like the basic lore for him is that he's a wizard who failed wizarding school from McWizard's castle, right? And he knows how to do a bunch of scary looking fancy effects, but they do 0 damage. That's the my rolling. It's my rolling
Okay, wait.
shtick.
Can I
Zero DPS.
read this background paragraph?
Go for it.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Hyun grew up in the slums of an abandoned city, his parents leaving him to fend for himself in the wasteland. After almost dying from starvation, Hyun encountered a mysterious clown who had been staring at him in the dark alleyway. The clown slowly walked up to Hyun and placed a party hat on his head, giving off a strange, eerie laugh and disappearing off into the wastes. With this newfound party hat, Hyun found true happiness, and since then has lived out his life in peace. Legends say that he is still dancing to this day.
What? Damn, did someone else write that?
I don't
I
know.
don't remember.
There's sources,
so
but
cool.
like
Dad.
2 of these aren't even like. Oh, okay, well, one of them aren't even going to be available.
He's a ZDPS though. That's
Nino's
cool.
down too. I don't know.
Man, that's intense. God, I didn't even know about that.
I don't even know.
Hey, maybe I should just roll with it. You know.
Yeah, go with it, dude. It's
Hyun
canon.
rolled with it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
My goodness.
next question by a random Peruvian again asks, "Will there be more merch? I buy all the keychains and I need more."
Merch is coming.
I buy them all.
I'm in kind of like a transitional phase when it comes to merch because I might be switching from a completely different system. That's why I kind of halted on releasing any new merch. You can still buy merch. It's just like everything's kind of out of stock right now. So whatever's left is, but it will be. I do have like a ton more keychains ready to be made, and maybe some more clothing merch to restock, but that is probably going to be later in the end of the year or maybe even next year to be rebooted.
All right. Rando Espresso asks, "Are there any new creators in the community that you all personally really enjoy watching? What part of these creators' projects do you enjoy the most and admire?"
Oh, new creators. There's so many.
I guess
There's
it's hard to
always
define.
people coming in and out.
It's hard to find new too, like because like it's all based on perspective. Like to me, new Tokarev's new to me. Donnie Boots is new to me. Lunsar's new to me. TJB's new to
Lunsar.
me. But these people might not be new at all for other people. So I guess that's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still kind of consider myself new, even though I've been here for nearly 10 years now, which is crazy to think about.
Not so pro-ish. Not so pro-ish is good.
Oh,
I really
yeah,
like their stuff.
pro-ish, definitely. I don't think they're definitely not new, but I think people just get really popular over time, and then people think they're new because they get presented more.
Correct. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like so subjective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They could be around for 15 years, and last 3 years they start popping off, and you know, so I don't know. Hard to answer.
This is random mention, but was his name Kideward?
Kideward. Kideward. Yeah, Kideward. Yeah.
Dude, he's been improving so fast. I've seen his entire journey from him starting like from scratch.
I get so angry when I see people improve faster than I did.
He messaged me like I think like a year or two ago, and he gave me updates regularly, like once or twice a week for a long time. So I've seen like the full spectrum of his evolution. Wow. He is improving really rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hats off to you, man. It's an honorable mention.
It's impressive. IR Hated asks, Hyun, what do you think of 1X Chronos? So what are our thoughts on ships in this community?
Shipped?
I guess.
Oh, shipped.
Yeah, 1X Chronos. Not versus. If I'm understanding that right.
Yeah, the X is a big difference. I did see that,
Yeah.
the X there. I'm not against it. I think it is like weird, but it's not something that I am like, I don't know, against. I think it's just people are passionate about certain things, and I don't know, like people just like what they like, and if I was the cause of that somehow, then more power to them. Probably not my cup of tea, but dude, some of the fan art that I've
That he's. Did we lose him?
It's literally left him speechless.
oh no, am I lagging?
You lagged out quite a bit there.
Hey, probably best that you didn't hear it anyways, but I appreciate I appreciate anything that happens with my characters. It's like, I'm just glad that my characters can be in people's heads and they can like think about it and whatever the way that they want to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I realize I still have this up. Sorry about that.
Oh, you good.
Sorry, Sarah left a funny question that I'm not going to read.
Oh yeah, skip that one.
Yeah.
That. Yes,
Nexalt Content asks, how did John McCool, Pluto, and Turquoise come to the live? Come to live in the house in the Dojo house. I can't.
Oh,
read.
dude! Oh my God.
Yeah,
it's
Yeah, no, let you go.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there was like a period of time where every like big member in the dojo was just living with you. It's real crazy. As they would all show up in each other's live streams occasionally.
Yeah, that was kind of random. It just kind of happened naturally because as I was growing up, going to college and just trying to live out my life, I had to move somewhere, and I found out Jom lives very close to me in Southern California. So I just messaged him, and he's like, yo, you want to get like an apartment together and we can just like work? And then, so that's how it kind of started. It was just me and Jom in a tiny apartment. And then slowly it just came to be like I just message people online, and then out there that they live close. They needed a place to live, so that happened with like another user, Oreo. He lived with me for a long time. We became really close. Wow. And then it happened with Mikul. Mikul needed a place to stay, so I invited him, and then it was like, oh man, I have old pictures of our apartment. It was so messy. It's like a bomb went off because like if you have like 4 guys living in a small apartment with like no life skills at all, it's not a good recipe. It gets really messy.
I love
that. But it just slowly came to be like, because I was in a fortunate enough position where I could get an apartment and start living by myself in some cases. And I was also fortunate to kind of help people if they needed a place to stay. And if I trusted them enough, like they were from the community and I talked to them enough, I would invite them to just chill at my place. And people, and then like Turquoise lived with me for a little bit. A lot of dojo people have lived with me.
Yeah, there was one time where you asked me if I would be down.
Did I?
You did, dude, and that was crazy.
Dude, I think you'd be one of the better roommates.
Oh, thank you. I thought about it, but it's too close to the ocean for me.
Too close to the yeah. You never know when the tsunami is gonna hit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But yeah, it just came naturally. It's like, hey, I live here, and you are gonna be homeless soon, so hey, we should hang out. And then it still happens now. So like, I have a house now that I bought, and I just kind of it has like 4 bedrooms, I think 5 bedrooms now, including the garage.
Oh wow.
So I still do that right now. So if I have a free room, and if there's someone from the dojo that needs a place to live, sometimes they'll reach out to me, and then we'll work something out.
That's crazy.
I charge rent as long as they pay rent. That's fine. Just make sure to do your dishes every day. Don't leave dishes in the sink, or I'll come find you, and I will kill you. But that's literally my only rule. I think it's just do your dishes and pay rent. But yeah, it's kind of like an ongoing thing that not a lot of people know about, but it's just I've been doing it naturally for ever since, even right now.
I think it's super cool.
Hey,
honestly.
Stone,
yeah.
Do you want to pick a question and I pick a question and we call it there?
Sounds good to me.
Right.
Let me see. Give me just a second. Okay, I like this. Sup or Animation asks, how do you get motivation and creativity throughout the years?
Oh,
It's an important one. We've covered bits and pieces of this before, but I think it's very personal. Don't you agree? Like it changes for different people.
I mean, yeah, it's happened to me too. Like I lose motivation very easily as well, and there are parts throughout the year where I'm just like not creative and I don't do anything. I just play video games or just sit there in my room and do nothing. It's hard to say. I kind of want to just say watch other people's stuff and watch stuff that inspires you, but sometimes that just doesn't work. Sometimes you just have to force yourself to do something and make very tiny goals for yourself to jumpstart whatever that you're doing, and hopefully it'll turn into something. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you guys think? Because it's hard to say because everyone's kind of different,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have ADHD, so it kind of anyone with ADHD kind of gets it. Just kind of comes in bursts.
I'm the same way. I'm very toxically 110% into anything that it is that I'm doing. So when I'm animating, I'll get more animation done in 3 months than maybe some people will do in a year, or at least amount of time spent. But then I'll go through 2 or 3 months where I, like Hyun, will just be like, I can't do anything. Like, it just nothing sparks anything. I'll just play games, or I'll have a fixation on something else. I've learned to be okay and accept the ebb and flow as part of the process, and that I know I'll be back at my animation when the time is right and the creativity is flowing again, and I'll get like half the year's work done out of my system in like 2 months, and then I'll ebb and flow back and forth. And I think that's part of the creative process. I think that it refreshes you almost. So not feeling guilty about that wave, I think is big, because you punish yourself mentally. You're like, why are you doing this? You need to be doing this or that. What you are doing at all times is what you are supposed to be doing. That's one thing I live by. What you are doing right now is what you're supposed to be doing. And it's so true though, too, because again, it's a puzzle piece that's part of what it is that you want to do. Whether you realize it or not, your pausing in the thing that you were doing could be the most important ingredient for you to be successful in doing it in the end.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah,
I
think...
Yeah, go ahead.
I think that if you're feeling uncreative and unmotivated, then something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
And you need to get yourself fixed.
Go to the doctor, man. What's wrong with you?
Run. Just keep running until you're happy.
No, I do largely agree with what Stone is saying.
Yeah.
Like it's bouncing between projects it's not efficient by any means.
No, but
it keeps yourself creatively fulfilled.
Yes, and I think that's the best part about art, is that it's not wildly efficient. It's not something that is min-maxed to the best outcome. You know what I mean? You definitely can min-max the process, but it doesn't mean that min-maxing it all of the time is what leads to the best outcome. That's the cool part.
100%. Yeah, agreed.
All right.
Okay, next. Last question.
Final question. Constorm Entertainment asks, what made you guys decide to make a whole community of animators besides networking?
For me, it had nothing to do with networking from the standpoint of like trying to build myself up per se. Because when I think of network, I think of like building a brand, building a business. You know, I wanted to just create a space where I could feel like I could share something cool that I'm working on that other people will like it at the same degree or more, and while at the same time provide the space for them to do exactly that same thing, so that it could just keep on bouncing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah, because Hyun's Dojo actually started as an IRC channel. It was just like my own personal channel with a small group of friends, and even now it's just kind of grown to that, but it's just grown bigger, and that's pretty much it. Like, we're still a group of friends who like to work on projects together. It's not really about making connections or making it in life or animation, because it's just not about that. It's literally just about hanging out and making cool stuff together that we all kind of like at the same time.
It's a byproduct. That's like a symptom of a consequence. You could see it as of those things coming together, is you get the networking and potential opportunities and stuff. But it's funny because if you switch it around, it never works. If you try to make networking and business and money the thing that comes first and build everything around that first, I find communities fail when it's built around that first. It has to be built around organic enjoyment and joy over something, and then the other thing follows. If you build it around generating money or making money or networking for the sake of networking, it just falls apart because it's not organic.
Yep. And people will feel it. Like, people can tell 100%. Like, instantly they'll be able to tell if this is not genuine, or if it's like doing something just for money or something weird like that. They can tell it's and they can also tell what is genuine. Like the big collabs that we do, that's all hundreds of hours of work that everyone's doing on their free time. And it's genuine. Everyone just likes doing it. That's why they do it. They don't do it for money. Nobody really makes money doing these kinds of things. It's just,
collabs are so unprofitable.
Just do it. It's like the reverse strategy for making money.
Yeah,
it is.
But it's a strong way to make a community.
For family, family.
I pay the electrical bill with community, and it's been working out. Just don't ever open up your mailbox. Just say I paid it with exposure, and if the lights turn off, then just say, hey, I put in my deposit for community. Why is my fridge not on?
I tell your landlord, you'll pay them an exposure, and it'll go over real well.
Yep, every time. It literally never causes any problems. So write that down. Don't ever research that.
Well, I think this might be our longest episode yet.
It is.
We're nearly 2 hours.
Hyun deserves the longest episode to date.
Yeah. I found this one very interesting. I learned some things I didn't know about you.
Yeah, there's still so much I wanted to talk about, but hey, we'll save that for the next one.
There's always going to be more episodes.
There will.
Yeah, there's so many things I wanted to say and not say at the same time, but it's a long history of like over 10 years that the dojo's been here, and I'm just glad that we're still here sitting as 3 old men.
Yep.
Hey,
in the sky.
Speak for yourselves.
I'm young and spry.
Old. If I'm old, then so many people out there do not have a lot of time left.
No.
I mean, yeah, we're already halfway up to heaven. Like, we're on our way up there.
Yeah, look at where we are. What do you think this is, Atena?
Fair. I guess 50 is my cap.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
It is the outro. Let me get my outro. It is, of course, guys, please always leave a comment. let us know what you thought about the episode when this episode is done being live. If you leave a comment, we read those to help shape our future episodes. And next week, join us for episode 17, where we will be having our special guest, Steel, on with us to talk about his new project. Yes. Yes, he will be here. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.
Adios.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Happy Halloween.
Goodbye.
Happy
Goodbye.
holidays. Stay
Meat
safe.